Come to standing for a moment and notice the pressure that your feet are making on the ground. Notice the weight in the heels compared to the front of your feet. Notice which side feels heavier, the right or the left. Rock a little bit forward, a little bit backwards. Just feel the shift in weight in the feet. A little bit side to side as well. Notice the inside of the foot, the outside. Good. So come to lying on your back. This will work best if you're lying on a padded surface. A bed might be a little bit too soft for it, but you could try it in bed as well. And just lie with your palms facing down. Let your body settle. And slowly begin to notice what you notice. Maybe it's your breathing. Could be the thoughts in your head. You might hear some sounds. And then bring your attention to the contact that your body is making on the floor. Starting with the heels, notice which heel is heavier. Notice the space under the Achilles tendon and the contact of the calves, the space behind the knee, and the contact of the thighs up to the buttocks. Which leg feels heavier? Which leg feels longer? In the center of your pelvis, you can feel your sacrum. And as you go up the spine, you can sense the curvature. There's space between your lower back and the surface. And then the curve will reverse, and you'll feel some contact of a few vertebrae in the middle back. You continue upwards, and you sense the space under your neck, the curvature of the spine. And sense the weight of your head. Which ear feels closer to the surface? Which shoulder blade feels heavier? Which arm feels longer? So we're beginning to do an awareness through movement lesson, a Feldenkrais Method lesson. Typically, we don't look at someone doing a movement. We just follow verbal instructions as we do this, right? Because the problem when you look is that you imitate, right? And you don't necessarily have that internal experience. So if you need to reference the screen at times, if you get confused, that's okay. But These aren't movements that need to be done perfectly, right? These are movements that will allow you to experience yourself as a whole. Right, so begin to raise your right arm. So it's vertical. Your palm faces your chest. The wrist is bent. And organize the arm so that it feels like it's the bones that are supporting it, right? Not the muscles. Tilt your arm a little bit left and a little bit right, and feel how that creates a change in the muscle tone. Right, so I go to the outside, and I feel tension on the inside of the arm and the chest. And then I feel the opposite. Right? I also notice movement on my shoulder blade. Lower your arm and rest. Raise your arm again. This time raise your arm towards the ceiling. Right? So you're moving your arm forward in relationship to your body. And notice what moves. Right? So you raise your arm and you feel the shoulder, you feel the chest, you feel the shoulder blade and the ribs. Perhaps the head is moving. Only do what's easy. Good. Lower your arm and rest. And feel the difference. Notice the difference between the right shoulder blade and the left. The right arm and the left. Again, raise your arm. This time we're going to coordinate the breath with the movement so that you'll exhale as you initiate the movement. And if your head isn't already moving, allow your head to roll with the movement. Right? So as my right arm moves forward towards the ceiling, my head rolls a little bit to the left. Exhale, and then I go. And then I rest. Exhale, and rest. And lower your arm. Bend your right leg and stand your foot so that the leg is vertical. Your knee points towards the ceiling. If you were to balance a cup of tea on top of the knee, you want to keep it there. You don't want to spill it. And so the next movement's going to be rolling your pelvis to the left. Right? So you roll the pelvis. As you make this movement, you feel the right buttock is lifting and the right lower back, and the ribs all the way up to the shoulder blades. Notice that it feels that the thigh, the right thigh, is getting longer. Exhale, and then move. Try positioning your foot a little bit to the right and explore the movement from this position. Notice the difference. And then a little bit closer to your left leg. Right? Does this make the movement easier or is it more difficult? Or you're not sure? Lower your leg and rest. Bend the right leg. Raise the right arm as you had it, perpendicular to the floor. And this time, coordinate the two movements so that the right hip and the right shoulder lift from the floor simultaneously. Exhale, and then go. And rest. Exhale. Just notice what you notice. How well coordinated is the movement? Right? And feel like you're pouring sand into the left side of your body. Right as you begin to exhale. So it's like the left side of your body acts as a counterweight to the right side. A couple times, organize it so that your head is going with it. Right? So keep your head and your pelvis rolling at the same rate. And a couple times, just see what it's like to roll your head in the opposite direction. Good. How was that? Lower your arm, lower your leg. Feel the difference between the right side and the left side. Notice which side of your body feels heavier. Bend your left leg, raise your left arm. Same position. This time just use your imagination. Right? So don't actually make the movement, but visualize that you're actually moving. Right? So the movement is rolling the pelvis and the shoulder to the right. So the left hip and the left shoulder lift together. You feel the ribs are lifting. and the weight is shifting onto the right side. And then you come back. And even though you're imagining the movement, you can still feel that there's some movement occurring. Time it with the breath, right? So you'll exhale, and then you'll move. And notice the connections of the arms and your chest, the legs and the pelvis. The head moving with the pelvis. Good. And then just one time, go ahead and perform the movement. Wait for the exhalation, and then go ahead and move and feel. How is that? And rest. Lower your leg, lower your arm. How is the contact now? Is it more balanced? Bend both your legs, raise both your arms, palms facing your chest, fingers pointed towards each other. Hands are relaxed. And slowly begin to roll towards the left by tilting your left leg outward and bringing your left hand towards the chest. Right? So your right arm goes towards the ceiling and your right buttock lifts away from the floor. Right? So one hand is moving towards you, the other is moving away. Right? One knee is balancing the cup of tea and the other is spilling it. Right? Feel the surface of your back, your ribs, your spine, your shoulder blades. Right? And just gradually be a little more relaxed with the movement. Right? See what it's like if your head goes in the opposite direction. Good. It's actually a lot to coordinate, so don't think of this as something that you should pick up in an instant. Rest and notice, how is the contact now compared to the beginning? Slowly bend your knees. Roll to your side. And come to sitting. Let yourself settle for a moment. Notice what you notice. Good. And then come to standing. Right, and feel the difference. Can you sense your heels now? Can you feel how grounded you are? How is the position of your arms relative to your chest? How is the width of your chest? And how is the position of your head? Right, this was the first awareness through movement lesson we call ATMs that I did 10 or 15 years ago. It's my first introduction to the Feldenkrais Method. And it was such a revelation for me when I stood up. I didn't understand at all why was I doing any of this. But when I stood up, I understood that there was something significant within the method, and I knew I was going to pursue it. Basically for me, what I felt was completely grounded, more grounded than I had ever felt in, 15, 20 years of martial arts training. And then I felt this clear sense of softening in the tension in my back, which I had no idea I had that much tension to begin with. So it was this profound sense of a difference that I experienced that, it made me realize that there's a lot to be learned from this. It was, in many ways, I thought it was just a miracle because no one even laid a hand on me and I felt so much different. Prior to that, I certainly had plenty of manual therapy, physical therapy for the back issues. I've got herniated discs since my 20s. My back's been fine since doing this work. So you may feel some kind of a difference, when you do this lesson. You may not. That's okay too. But regardless, it's a good approach to begin to slow yourself down a little bit, become a little more internally focused. And you'll see that I kind of am using a similar sort of pacing of my approach with Tai Chi, how I'm moving my attention through my body. Notice your breathing. Having less tension in the body makes it easier to breathe. Having less tension in the body makes it easier to perceive the ground. Right? And this work, including Tai Chi, helps you to learn to reduce the unnecessary tension. All right, so let's stop there. Give me a thumbs up or write some comments if you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time.